Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. This subject are pros and cons of living close to or nearby a school. It's probably one of the most common questions, and it really, and again, like life, it kind of depends. One thing we do know is that schools are the center of many communities, and outside of the Monday through Friday school week, there will be sporting events, there's clubs and dances, local events, and of course graduation. Some people will embrace that liveliness and others not so much. So when you're in the market for a new home, living near a primary or high school can be an attractive option for many people, but it doesn't always fit everyone's lifestyle, and it can lead to upward of ballpark 180 days of potential headaches during the year. So let's move forward and listen to some of the facts that I put together for you, and then you can grade, pardon that pun, living next to a school, perhaps on the old A plus through an F.
And here we go.
One of the biggest pros of living next to a school has to be that your kids have the ability to walk to it. Dropping your little ones off and then picking them up in the morning can be a nuisance, and even if it's just dropping them to the closest school bus, that too can be a time waster or taker. But by living next to the school, the mornings can get a lot easier as they're just a hop, skip, and a jump away. And they might actually get some exercise if they don't take anything motorized to their school. Remember back in my days, it was walking. We did try to skateboard every now and then, but it was a little path that ended and we cut through the woods, and skateboards didn't work so good in the woods or in the dirt trails. But then again, we also had bikes, so we would ride our bikes there in the morning. Anyways, the next subject that I think would be a pro or a definite advantage of living next to a school would be the fact that you have easy access to it because you are close to it. And do you want to check out the high school football games on Friday nights? There would be no worry about parking because you could just leave your car in your own driveway and walk to the stadium. Also, if the school has a playground, maybe a track, a basketball court, tennis courts, etc., you may be able to utilize them during certain hours or when school is not in session. That's a definite advantage if, of course, you would utilize said amenities. Okay, this next fact or these next advantages are usually overlooked, and that's why I love making these videos for you so I can explain and review them. Always remember, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the comments section below or just reach out to me, call, text, or email. Again, all of my contact information can be found in the description of each of our videos. So I'm always available and would love to talk the talk in reference to Valley of the Sun real estate. And I'll also add that the pros and cons of living next to a school or other structures definitely falls in the realm of that category, so I'm here if needed. Okay, the next one on the list is time off. Schools also have long breaks throughout the year, so expect little to no activity during those breaks, typically around the holiday and when school's not in session, typically in the summer. The next one is safety. The neighborhoods surrounding schools typically have a strong level of safety. These areas tend to have a higher police presence to keep the campus or schoolyard secure. There are also many other perks to living next to the school in the realm of safety, but they also reduce, and here's one that a lot of people don't always think about, but they notice it when they're there. Speed limits are definitely monitored to enforce the safety of children crossing or playing or attending school. So the speed limits in certain areas surrounding schools are usually monitored and enforced pretty strictly. Increased value. Homes near schools tend to sell at a higher price. Now, depending on the market, and there's a lot of conditions that go with that statement, but again, typically they sell higher because most people have the proverbial family and the school is a perk to them. Many parents are willing to pay that premium to have that easier or closer access to their children's school. So if you expect to sell your house in the future, living next to a school can make it a desirable listing. And of course, not a plug, but now is a great time to sell your house. So if you would like an absolutely free, no obligation comparable market analysis or home value report, just click the link in the first pinned comment below and we will get that to you ASAP.
Hello everyone, I'm Shawn Rogers, Realtor and lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team here in the Valley of the Sun, Arizona. If you're thinking about buying, selling, renting, or investing, please reach out to me. All of my contact information could be found in the descriptions of our videos below, and we'd be more than happy to get you moving. As always, thank you for watching our videos and supporting our channel. Remember to keep a lookout for other links to videos that we think you'll enjoy. Till next time, take care. God bless America. Talk to you soon.
I guess we wouldn't have a true or complete pros and cons of living next to a school if we then didn't go over the cons after listing or reviewing some of the pros. So the first con would be, or disadvantage as it may be called, is if you don't have kids and don't plan on having any, living next to a school may provide more of an annoyance than a perk. First, schools can get busy at various times of the day. The mornings and afternoon rush of parents dropping kids off and picking them up can also cause traffic headaches. There could and will also be more foot traffic in the neighborhood. This can lead to students using your yard as a shortcut, quickest way to get home, and many times that was hopping fences or zipping through people's yards. It was just the quickest way to get home to do our homework or play outside. Probably just play outside, or nowadays just get home and play on your computers or any of your electronic devices. But in any event, if you aren't going to have children and this is a concern to you, we being professional real estate agents will always point out when you're close to facilities that could cause that kind of traffic. And obviously this video is about schools, so we would point out schools. You would think that some of them would be blaring towers that you couldn't miss, but sometimes within different subdivisions, the schools are, well, for lack of a better word, nestled out of sight and nicely camouflaged. And once you have the keys to your new home, well, then it's a little bit too late until you hear the old band marching or school bus bells, whistles, and brakes going on and off throughout the different times of the day. The next disadvantage could be parking. And all those school events create what could be parking issues. Street parking can become scarce. People can inadvertently park in front of your house or sometimes in front of your driveway because they're going to attend different sporting events or different school events during the course of the year. And of course, there's always that parent-teacher conference or graduation. But in any event, parking could be an issue the closer you are to the school, the more that you're going to see people utilizing, well, parking wherever they can. The next disadvantage that we would definitely want to make sure we, again, in real estate, there's different disclosures that we want to point to you or guide you to the direction to do research, but sometimes, and there's different movies that have portrayed this at different times, but again, you'll get the point here. Noise can be the issue. The area around the school can be noisier than the other neighborhoods as kids commute and they play on the playgrounds or in the parks or football or soccer fields, etc., etc. Even when schools aren't holding the events, many kids, children, teenagers, etc., may utilize these facilities. So you may be in earshot of the school's PA system, giving you daily updates you didn't really ask for, nor do you want to hear. High schools also have a bell schedule, which can be alarming if you're not expecting it. And don't forget the regular fire drills throughout the course of the year. The bottom line is you want to, when purchasing a property, make sure that if you see a school, or if you don't see a school, you definitely want to know one is there. And sometimes your best practice is to actually stand in the driveway or the backyard of the property you're going to purchase when an event is going on. I'll give you another example, which ties right into this one. If there was a school, let's say football game going on, the old Friday Night Lights. Well, first off, you may like to attend that game, so that noise may not be of an issue. But staying on the same path of or the noise issues, many times with houses the way they are built now, if you're standing in your driveway or if you're in your backyard and you're close to a school, then the noise during said events may be an issue. But my money says that when you're inside the house, with the sound proofing or the technology upgrades that we have nowadays, insulation and the window thicknesses, etc., you usually don't hear any of the noise going on outside. Again, depending on how close you are to the school, but this could be the same issue, be it noise of a neighbor who's practicing his band, or a band practices in the garage of a neighbor, would be a nuisance if you're standing in your driveway, but many times you couldn't hear that noise when you're in your house. And I think that's just common knowledge, but it's not so much common for people that don't or aren't looking for that when they're purchasing a house. And that's another reason why you want to have a professional, again, in my humble opinion, point these things out.
I am out here for you.
There's other videos we have that kind of tie into this, but the same could be said with a condo or townhouse where you have a common wall. Somebody, I'm not going to mention, guys or men's names, but many of us like to have big TVs and surround sound on the wall. And if we're listening to an action-packed movie at a higher volume later at night, I'm pretty sure a common wall is going to, enjoy or not enjoy all the perks of that surround sound. So, sorry for babbling on a little bit there, but noise is always a key concern. One of the other, what could be considered a disadvantage, would be lights. Believe it or not, schools often have many lights on around the campus for safety. And if you live adjacent or close to the school's athletic fields, stadiums, etc., the lights can be very bright in the evenings when the events are going on. So that's probably something you want to make sure, although you may just, I don't want to say your mind's eye would see the big light towers, which during the day may not seem to be a nuisance or a distraction to you. But believe me, if there's a sporting event going on, those lights can, you know how bright they could be, and they're going to light up the whole area. So that may not be in your best interest. And one of the last, what I would say, value decreasers could be, and I'm going to say this could be on both sides of the fence here. And the reason why I'm saying that is there's going to be a cost or an increased property property increase, I should say, living next to a school. So finally, you're likely to pay more if you live next to a school. And if you ever want to sell your home, it could be more difficult to find a buyer due to the higher property value of being close to said school. So living next to a school isn't for everyone, but if it meets your needs, you'll love calling the local school your neighbor, or being close to the school will be an advantage more than a disadvantage. And overall, that's just my take on the pros and or cons, as quick as I can do it in reference to living close to schools. Okay, we've come to the end of another one of our videos, And we, the Mr. Rogers Homes Arizona Real Estate Team, truly hope that you enjoy these videos and that they are informative to you. One of the things that I neglect to mention during the course of the videos, and I always mention, please hit subscribe, please click the thumbs up, leave us a comment or a question down below in the description. But what I again fail to mention is feel free to share these videos. We make them to help people in the realm of Valley of the Sun real estate, and that's exactly why we put them out. I know it sounds kind of repetitive or redundant to say it more than once, but many times people ask us, are we allowed to share these videos? Heck, sometimes I wonder on different videos, are we allowed to share them or not? But I guess the common cause as far as my videos or our team videos is we absolutely would love for you to share them if you found them informative and or they would help somebody in the realm of, again, real estate, in this case, the pros and cons of living next to a school. So thank you again for listening, and take care.